It was intentional. That was totally intentional. The run up to Loaded was kind of fraught with, or was the feeling that was going on was that we needed more airplay, and this was again was Steve Sesnick was he saw that in order to we need to generate more commercial success in order to maintain the group, and you know it's like a small business, you know, you've got to grow or you die. And so I remember riding in the back of a taxi or a limo or something with Lou and Steve kind of going on about, oh, we've got to get some airplay, and Lou saying, oh, I've got this song that, you know, Satellite of Love that, you know, it's all about, because there was some satellite was up at that point, and it was a big deal, you know, the space race was going on. And Steve was saying, yeah, that'll do it, you know. It was a kind of a constant thing about airplay, being more commercial, being more accepted in the FM world, and a lot of those songs were engineered, were recorded and engineered and edited, and the whole focus was to get airplay. They're cut down to, you know, from maybe 5 or 6 minutes down to like 2 minutes 40 or something, just to get that, you know, into that rotation, the FM or even the AM rotation. The topics are more poppy. I mean, if you listen to Who Loves the Sun, that's on Loaded, right? I mean, that's a straight pop song, straight flat-out pop song, which is something the Velvet Underground wasn't doing before that, you know. Really wasn't doing pop. It was doing rock and, you know, but not pop music. The whole focus of the album was airplay. That's funny because my recollection of as I recall the recording the tracks for Sweet Jane, that they were, I think he was playing, I know he was playing Through the Sun, the big Sun amp, and he was cranking on it. I mean, he was, you know, that rhythm, that essential rhythm, bam, 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 ba da, was big and fat and full, you know. Now, when it's translated to a record, you know, you lose some of that, but it was always, in fact, it was that figure, that guitar figure was finalized just around the time we started recording it. You know, it had been a little different, not as strong before that. And after that really defines the song. Playing it live after that was all about that particular guitar figure, and you know, I mean, to this day, if you play that, and anybody who's ever heard it will say, "Oh, that's Sweet Jane," you know. So, yeah, I mean, that's the way I think of it: is big and fat and just, you know, somewhat distorted, and maybe if I go back and listen to the album, I'll hear that that's not what's there. I don't know, but that's what I, you know, that's what I hear. When I think of that album, I think of Sweet Jane and Rock and Roll as like the heavy sort of tunes. I barely ever remember the song Head Held High, which was intended to be the sort of the power song, and stuff like Who Loves the Sun is it's nice, but it's kind of like filler for me. You know, it's an album cut. But that was also, at the time, they were talking about that for the single, you know. And I guess it had some effect, because I remember later Elliot Murphy saying, when we were arranging one of his songs, he wanted "ba ba ba's" on the, you know, a vocal track that said "ba ba ba" on one of his songs. He thought that would be really cool. But rock and roll is, and someone pointed out, and it's true, that every band has a song about rock and roll. Every rock and roll band has a song about rock and roll. You know, at some point they do one. You know, it's like an homage to the music, and that's what that is. but it's one of my favorite, tunes out of the Velvets. I played the drums on it, which is kind of weird, on the record. And if you listen, at the end, I think it was that one. I get turned around on it. But yeah, it's a great cut. I mean, it defines rock and roll to some extent, I think.